Hi everybody and welcome to yet another Kickstarter update. We just released a new version on Steam Early Access, so head over there and have a look at all the changes that we've put in the game. You'll see it's quite a list. And I wanted to say something. We have seen on forums that people are wondering how on earth we're ever going to finish the game if we keep on working on the beginning of the game and update it. But rest assured that we're also very busy on the rest of the game. You're just not seeing it yet. Peter here, for instance, is busy with work that very much is polishing work, I would say. Can you explain what you're doing, Peter?
At this moment, for example, I'm making the effects for around the zombies, making flies go around them. I'm also making some cooler stuff, like for example this demon. He has now wings on fire.
Yeah. You will see things like this because Peter, you've also been working on the elementals, for instance. Eh?
Yes.
If you noticed the changes in the elementals that you can summon in the game, you noticed that in the past they didn't have any effects around them. Now they have plenty of effects. Like this, we are adding the finishing touches to, I guess, pretty much our entire creature park, which is quite extensive. And like this, we're also adding our finishing touches to the actual levels that have been designed. So the game world of Original Sin is quite big. I mean, you literally have only seen the tip of the iceberg. And I promise that we're going to release extra content. But for the moment, we still want to iterate one or two more times over the beginning area because it's allowing us to test new things and to see how you are playing. So please keep on sending us the feedback because it's worth its weight in gold for us. It's helping us to make the game a lot better. So let's have a look at all the changes that we've done to today's version. So, one of the first things you're going to see when you start up the game is that there are a few more options in your character creation screen. You can now change the gender of your characters, so you can play as a guy and a guy or a girl and a girl. And you can also give them a different head or a different hairdo, although the options are still very limited, but expect a lot of progress in that area in the coming weeks. You'll also notice as you scroll through the available profiles that you now have robes. So where are they? There they are. So the days that you had to walk around in your underwear whenever you found a piece of equipment that resembled a robe are over. The inventory has been receiving a little bit of love in this latest build of Divinity Original Sin. When you go to the inventory, you'll notice that the tabs are now working, so you can basically filter according to item category. And this also works in the trade inventory. So if you click on, for instance, Ignacio here and you ask him to trade with you, you will notice that you also have these filters or tabs available to you in the barter plate, which is quite handy. Speaking of the barter plate, you also discover that the prices of skill books have gone up. There was a bug in the past which prevented the right prices from being shown, so now you will actually need to haggle to get those much wanted skills. One of the more important improvements that we've done to this particular build of Divinity Original Sin is the inclusion of the history log. So if you click on the plus button in the lower right corner of your screen, you'll see that a history log appears, and it allows you to see everything that has happened in the game and everything that's happening behind the scenes. For instance, if I'm going to do a barrage on this poor crate here, I'm going to destroy the crate, and you'll see that the log will record that I've shot the crate for 10 damage and that I destroyed it. It adds a lot to the gameplay, in my opinion, because you can now really see what rules are active and why certain things are happening. And you'll notice that you can find a few secrets in paying close attention to the combat log. This thing here, by the way, is the lost chest which started the quest for Daniel and Dolores, who were featured in our Valentine special and who did their wedding proposal in Original Sin. So this was the ring. It's in German, Geheimnisvolle Ring, because Daniel and Dolores are from Vienna. And it's the thing that started their entire quest. And we were afraid the entire time that she was going to actually sell the ring because there's many things that needed to be done with the ring in-game. Let's continue and have a look at how we changed the primary stat system. So rather than triggering dialogue, I'm going to trigger combat right away by attacking poor Junius here, who wasn't expecting it at all, and I'll tell you a little bit about how we changed the primary stats. So the biggest change is that action points are now impacted by various primary stats. So the amount of maximum action points which you can have are determined by your constitution. the amount of action points that is, maximum action points, by the way, that's this number here. So it goes all the way over here, that's your max action points. The amount of action points that you start with, which is basically what you're seeing here, those are determined by my initiative, and the amount of action points that I'm going to recover per turn, so when I used up all of my action points this turn, and the amount of action points that I'll get next turn, they are going to be determined by my speed stat. So these are important changes because they will have a big impact on the way that you're going to be playing the game. There's other changes. We've modified what strength, dexterity and intelligence do. So intelligence does not affect your ability points anymore, but instead it has a bonus on the amount of action points that your magic skills are going to cost. Same goes for strength and dexterity. So your strength skill is going to have an impact on the amount of action points that your warrior skills cost, and your dexterity skill is going to have an impact on the amount of skills that your action points that your survivor skills are going to cost. So I'll save 2 action points here and try to kill Genius. Now, another interesting change that we've done to the game is that we removed the auto resurrect after combat. So that means that you're going to have to deal with death, such as what happened here, by using your resurrect scrolls. And yes, resurrect scrolls are limited, so you're going to have to find other ways of dealing with death in combat. So you can't just die and die and die over and over anymore. If you've been following our blogs or our forum posts, you'll know that we are not big believers in hand-holding in Divinity Original Sin. And as a result of that, we didn't put any map markers in. Now, we had quite a few demands for map markers, so we succumbed and we included them. So now you'll notice whenever you enter an area which is of some interest that a map marker is going to appear on your minimap. And indeed it will also be added to, sorry about that, it's also going to be added to your main map. So you will see, if I want to go to the town hall, I want to go there. And in future version you'll be able to click on it, and then you'll see the direction on your minimap to get there. What we will not do is allow you to click on a quest and then automatically show where you have to go next for solving the quest, because we believe that a large part of the fun in Original Sin is exploring and discovering for yourself how to do things. For those of you who have already played Divinity Original Sin on Steam Early Access, you'll notice as you explore this new world of Valentine that we've added a few encounters, and that we also modified existing encounters. The Lighthouse Horror, for instance, has received better scripting, and there's quite a big surprise waiting for you somewhere in the Black Cove. It's also worth noting that from now on, whenever an ally or one of your party members kills somebody in combat, the experience is going to be added to your group. So even if you're going to ask for the guards here in the village to help us out in this particular fight, and they actually kill one of the characters, you are going to receive experience. It's not 100% yet the system that we want to have in place, but it's a step in the direction of where we want to end up with the experience sharing system. And this particular skill, which has been abused and abused over and over, has now been nerfed a little bit. I'm sorry to say, but it had to happen eventually, so it shouldn't be that powerful anymore, and it should also not allow you to enter areas where you weren't supposed to go anymore either. I'm very sorry about that, but we had to do it one day. So in addition to all of that, there's a lot of bug fixes, there's performance improvements. You also see that the connectivity in multiplayer has been increased, and in general, we've done quite a lot of work over here. But you're only seeing the parts that we've done in this particular part of the game. There's an entire truckload of things that have been done also in the last couple of weeks on the rest of the game. And I'm very eager to show it to you, but experience tells me that it's better to wait still. So you have to have a little bit of patience, but promise, it is coming. You will see more updates of the world. You will get access through early access to larger parts of the game world, and you will be spending quite a lot of time exploring Valentine. Alright, that's it for today. I want to congratulate Daniel and Dolores again with their wedding, or their coming wedding, and thank them for coming to Larian Studios to use our game as the scenery for their marriage proposal. We were very honored by that. And you will see me soon enough, because we're planning on giving you a new update of Divinity Original Sin in the next 10 days or so, I guess. Alright, with again many new things, many changes, some of them which are already done but which are not part of this version. Alright, take care everybody, and have a great Valentine and a great weekend. Bye bye!
Speaking of the military, if there's something you don't want to neglect, it's the bids and requests of your generals. Their influence on the battlefield is not to be taken lightly.
Have a sherry to calm those nerves.
In the Queen's quarters, decorated